Marvel Studios, the creators of the MCU, a whole modge podge of just superhero movies. And today I will be watching all of them and rewatching them again and ranking them. This is my opinion. I am not a movie critic, but here are the first 6 movies, which goes from Iron Man to the Avengers. So hope you all enjoy. So as I said in the intro of this video, I don't think any of these movies are, so you say, bad movies. But the Hulk, I feel like, is more average than all of the other movies. Yes, it has some cool things in it. I like the fight with Hulk and Abomination at the end. I like the fight in the middle at the school, kind of, a little bit. You know, a lot of stupid happens there, but I like how the, Hulk looks. I like the design of the Hulk. I like Edward Norton a little bit in this role. You know, obviously Edward Norton doesn't show much emotion, and I think that fits well with this Bruce Banner, as they're building a more serious Hulk. And this movie, you know, the stupid comic book shit happens later, but in this movie I can kind of take myself away from the stupid comic book stuff. You know, in this rewatch, I watched Hulk second, right after Iron Man. I did not watch them in order. I don't know if that is the intended order, but that's just when I watched these movies. And the Hulk just felt long. Like, it's 2 hours. I think it's the shortest one in Phase 1. I don't know if that's correct, but it feels like it's the longest, even though Avengers is 2.5 hours. And yes, most of my complaints in Phase 1 is that the movies are too long, but this you could just cut out a little bit fluff and just get to the shit. I don't really have much to say about some of these movies, so let's move on to number 5. So at number 5, we have the sequel to Iron Man 2. I feel like it also falls in the category of, with the Hulk, it's just an average movie. In my opinion, this is all my opinion, as I've said before, so please, if you have don't flame me in the comments, but this is just my opinion. I love RDJ as Iron Man. He'll always be Iron Man. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper, you know, I love her too. But there's just a lot of stupid in this movie. I feel a lot like a comic book stupid just going on. As in the Iron Man movies, there's just a lot of dumb. Justin Hammer, Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer, like, he did a fine job. He didn't convince me that he's like a super bad guy or whatever. And then Whiplash, he's there, you know, and the scene with the race car in the rewatch, I was wondering, because Tony Stark, spoilers by the way, I mean these movies are 10 years old, but Tony Stark wasn't meant to drive in that race, and Whiplash just knew that he was driving, so all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna attack right here. I don't know if I missed anything, but that's just what it seemed like to me. Elon Musk obviously makes a cameo in this movie, which is really funny in today's context. I never knew who Elon Musk was before when this movie came out in theaters. Obviously, little 10-year-old me was like, who the fuck is that? But obviously, I think it's better than Hulk, just by a little bit. Honestly, only because of Robert Downey Jr. If Robert Downey Jr. wasn't in this movie, I don't think it would be, I don't think, if Robert Downey Jr. wasn't in this movie, I think it would be on the same level as Hulk. I put it in B tier, only because I like, RDJ and Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, I also forgot, Scarlett Johansson also makes her debut in the MCU as the Black Widow, which, hot take here, I'm not a big fan of Black Widow. I don't think she really does much and adds much other than the love attraction to Bruce Banner and Hawkeye for some reason. But I did enjoy the action scenes in this movie. I feel like all of the action scenes in the MCU movies are well done. Most of them, I can't say for the later movies. I've seen almost every movie up until Endgame, so much of Phase 4... Shit. So much of Phase 4 I have not seen, but I did like this movie for what it was worth. Coming in at the 4th spot is Captain America, the first Avenger. Yes, he is the first Avenger, I guess technically. But Captain America, he's kind of cool. I kind of don't like Captain America that much. He's probably like, if I had to say, he's definitely below Thor for me. Not the movie. Yes, the movie and the character. But I feel like I just don't like the blind, like, bravery that Cap has. In this movie, he's kind of just like, oh, fuck it. He doesn't really think. But I do like his relationship with Peggy. The end scene when Peggy and Captain America are talking and he's about to crash the plane, I think that scene alone puts it over Iron Man 2 for me. I like the jokes, obviously, more in this movie. They just landed better, I think. They were written better. There's some moments where I laughed where I don't think I was supposed to laugh. But, you know, that happens sometimes. The one thing I really don't like is the effect on Chris Evans. He looks like ass at the beginning of the movie. The first 45 minutes of this movie, before he gets the super soldier serum, it just looks like shit. I mean, I think it might have looked good back in 2011, whenever this movie came out, but it just looks like garbage now. The Red Skull, I don't really care about. He's kind of just falls in that Iron Man Marvel villains where they're just bad guys for no reason. I guess you have a reason this time, because it is a World War II movie, so obviously, you know, Germans are bad, except the one German that helps Captain America. But yeah, there's not really much I can talk about, because I've already forgotten. Next up at the number 3 spot is the first Iron Man, which I absolutely loved. I mean, it was alright. I feel like you're supposed to love Iron Man, the first movie, because it's the first and it kicked it all off. But rewatching it, obviously, there was some stuff in it that was weird. You know, Jeff Bridges just becoming a villain for no reason was kind of odd to me. They didn't really build that up as well as I hoped, or I thought. You know, I haven't seen this movie in 10 years, so it's kind of... I fell asleep during this movie the first time I saw it. I don't know if that's because, you know, 8-year-old me was like, this is too late, time to go home. But I did not see the last half hour of this movie the first time, so a lot of this I didn't even remember. Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow, I obviously love her as Pepper Potts. You know, just Robert Downey Jr. loved him, obviously, as Tony Stark. Everyone loves him as Tony Stark. But as I talk about these movies, I do think they're good movies, but I really don't have much to talk about, because I feel like, you know, everything that has been said about this movie, you know, you've heard, and so I think it's a good movie. So let's go on to number 2 spot. And at the number 2 spot, this is a hot take alert. So if you have your negative comments and you want to dislike the video, this is your time to do it. But at number 2 is Avengers. Yes, Marvel's Avengers is at the number 2 spot. 2.5 hours, I feel like, is a long movie, and you gotta earn that length of movie. You know, there's a couple points where it was losing me a little bit towards the middle, but I feel like after Coulson died, that last hour, it was a good movie. And, you know, the first hour and a half, just bringing them all together, which hasn't really been done before in movies like this. But I feel like you could have shortened that up a little bit. Maybe, cut that down to an hour. See what happens after that, and then have the last hours of battle. Obviously, I love Loki. Loki's one of my favorite villains in the MCU, only because of Tom Hiddleston. I thought the forced fight was a little cheesy. The plan of attack line, kind of funny to me. Yeah, Nick Fury, kind of. I just watched the movie. It's a good movie. Obviously, it's the second best movie, in my opinion, in Phase 1. So I bet everyone is wondering what I have to say about Thor. And finally, at the number 1 spot is Thor. Coming into this rewatch, I totally did not expect Thor being my number 1 favorite movie in the in Phase 1, which I know is a shock to me. But once I got past the Dutch angles, I hated the Dutch angles for the first 15 minutes. But once Thor got to Earth, the movie just gets good. And I can't explain it. Honestly, this is my opinion. But I feel like Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth, the acting in this movie puts it up more than the other movies. Loki's stupid helmet always makes me laugh. But there's something I noticed in this movie, is that from the beginning, Loki was manipulating Thor into attacking the Frost Giants and then getting him banished. So it's something I never noticed before watching these movies, but I thought it was amazing. I thought it was done really well. I thought Loki's, motivations were there, unlike, in Iron Man or Iron Man 2, Captain America, it was explained why Loki was feeling the way he felt, and, the reasons he did what he did. I absolutely love it. The final battle, obviously, I thought was done really well. The Dutch angles, I even started liking the Dutch angles. For some reason, I just thought it put me into the movie, and it never got me out of it. So, Thor is number 1. That's what I have to say. So I hope everyone loved that ranking of all of the MCU Phase 1 movies. Here's the tier list. It's in this area somewhere. I will update dates. I will update the tier list as the series goes on. So that was Phase 1. Hopefully Phase 2 will be up hopefully next week. So I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out. Smack that subscribe button somewhere over on the screen. Watch this video or over here. I don't know. Somewhere. Peace out, boys.